Morning everyone, welcome to the beautiful Spianata ground in Corfu for the 4th International Schools Tournament. Today's game sees Joburg Cricket Club against Athens, and they've made a quick start with 2 boundaries already for the first 2 balls. So short leg side boundary here at this historic ground. The game was first played in 1823, sort of heritage of the sport here in Corfu, and a great opportunity for the school children from around the world to play at this historic venue, make new friends, acquaintances, and develop their game. It's just a single down to mid-off. Can get quite big scores at this ground. Just say quite short leg side boundary. On the other side, I'm sure you'll see during the course of the day start filling up with cafes surrounding the boundary. People have a coffee and watch the game. A lot of encouragements for the bowler. That was Mpumi with the first over. Just quite brave to put a spinner on first up. Did go for a couple of boundaries, just couldn't quite find his length in the first 2 deliveries. Interesting to see what kind of total they can post today. He scores are around 300 at this ground. Again, that's a bit short. Work round the corner. That should be 4 runs. Valiant chase by the fielder. Signal 4 as well, just a bit too short, bit leg side, just allowed him to get inside the line, work that behind square. So for those just joining us who don't know much about the tournament, it's 12 teams this year in the 4th edition of this very popular tournament that draws teams from across the world. It's played at 3 grounds, this one being the most historic in the centre of Corfu town, the others being at the Marina and the other one at Masongi Beach. So there's simultaneous fixtures taking us through to Friday, and on Saturday the semi-final and the final. The new bowler's Tavo. Looks like we might have some pace on the ball this time. The keeper standing back. It's Qamar Zaman. The distinctive red helmet. Look a bit like Chris Gale out there. He's taking his guard. Just pacing his run up here, looking for an early breakthrough. Quite an interesting, quite interesting field with a mid on, but also a short mid wicket. So he's into bowl. That's down the leg side. Good stop by the keeper, but will be given a wide. I expect. Indeed, it is. Really important here for these young men to find their rhythm early on. Just make sure they get the ball in the right area, otherwise you can leak runs on this pitch. Again, that's down the leg side. This time the keeper doesn't make it. So stopped by third man, but another wide. So 5 there. Scoreboard ticking along. There's 11 off the first over, and Tavu's just struggling to find his line early on. A little bit of rain around yesterday, but today not a cloud in the sky. Really is a beautiful location for cricket. Quite a few of these boys, it's the first time they'll have played away from home turf. That's a bit short, but again a bit wide, might be given, it is given. This team from Athens also participated last year where they had two sides, this time merging into just the one team from Athens. Of course there is the local team from Corfu as well, which won yesterday. Anyway, Tavu in again, and that's better line, but still given a wide, so umpires very strict on the wides. Batsman Zaman looks a well-organised player, but he hasn't been given much to hit so far. Slightly wayward over from Tavu. He's in past the umpire again. That's a bit shorter. Again, that looks a bit wide. And he's given by the umpire. This could take a while. So a brief pause to go through the other teams in this tournament. There's a Guernsey Cricket Board are over this year. Come back to that after this delivery. That's straighter, that's worked off his legs for a single. The Corfu Schools Academy, that includes some players in the Greek under-17 team, but all based in Corfu. The Jain International played last year from India. They have two teams, and the Mechanics and Engineering School are from Bulgaria. Again, they are regular in this competition. And Seheti, a Greek school in South Africa, Ebenezer School from India, Goenka International School from Surat, and the Montessori School from Lucknow. LBW shout there, but nothing from the umpire. Then Joburg Cricket Club, who we're seeing now, Delhi Public School, and School Club Athens make up the tournament. Bells from local church sound out. You probably hear. Just brought the. That's down the leg side again, I fear. Yeah, the umpire's outstretched arms. Not a good sight if you're a bowler. Clearly got a plan to this batsman. They've got some catches on the leg side. Short mid-wicket area. Just looking for that stopping in the pitch, playing a bit early. It's a full pitch delivery, turned off his toes but straight to the man. From Kumar. Through the morning we'll start to see this picturesque Corfu town fill up with tourists, many of whom will take a break from souvenir hunting to watch the cricket. Cup of coffee, or maybe later in the day, refreshing beer. Always generates a lot of interest, this tournament, from both locals and tourists alike. That's just worked fine off his toes, and there'll be a single there. Keeper chases back to prevent any more runs. Some of these young men have come a long way to play here in Corfu. A long journey from India. Different conditions from what they're used to. But very good for their, not only their cricketing education, but for their broader education, to meet people from different cultures. And that's pitched up delivery, just squirted out on the offside, just in front of point. A bit of a fumble allows them to come back for two. Positive start for Johannesburg here. A comfortable win yesterday, and they are one of the favourites for the tournament. You'd expect a strong performance, and it'll be for the Schools Club Athens to try and restrict them to a manageable total, so they have a good chance of chasing it down under the blazing sun. Just on the esplanade here, just 50 yards or so from sea. I'm hoping for a cool sea breeze.
The captain and the is holding next.
Who is it?
Nassim.
Nassim.
Yeah, the captain.
A few adjustments to the pads out there. Just a short break in play while we make sure kit's in order. The Athens captain coming on, Nassim. Looks like he's a medium pacer too, just marking out his run up. Looks quite a strong lad. Generate a bit of pace.
Come move, skip. Come skip. Come skip. Take a wicket for Joburg, yeah?
So the captain Nassim's in for his first ball, just slightly stopped at the crease there, and I think that affected his rhythm, and it's a wide first up. Seen a lot of extras so far in this innings from Joburg. Athens have got off to a good start. Just seemed to stop as he was going through the crease there. We'll see if he's got a bit more rhythm this time. He's in again. Again, a slight pause, but that's a much better line. Just defended out on the offside. There's no run. One of the reasons this tournament is so popular is, as I said, brings different cultures together, of course, but it's also played in a great spirit, camaraderie between the teams. But that's not to say there's not a competitive edge as well, as Nassim's in again. Again, that's a good ball. It's just a bit late on it, the batsman there. Batsman Kumar. Just dribbled out to slip, no run. Good steady start after those leaky first few overs from Joburg. See if we can continue this tight over. Again, that's a good line of length, just defended out. Not a bad idea, of course, is to take a few balls just to play yourself in against each bowler. No point in taking risks too early. Build your innings. Having said that, can get very big scores on this ground. Joburg, a very strong team. It's just worked off his pads. Take a single there, just see if that's given. That's given as a leg by the umpire. Score was 23 off the first two overs, so a good positive start. Many of those coming from wides, though, of course. So if Joburg can just tighten up, get a quick early wicket here, put a bit of pressure on, that's what they'll be looking to do. See him again, he's just switched round the wicket. His attempted cut shot, but misses that. Practices a square drive after a flashing cut. It's no good playing it after the ball's gone, unfortunately. But as I was saying, great camaraderie between these teams back at the hotel in the evenings. Boys playing together, snooker, table tennis, getting to know each other. Good over from Nassim. Very steady. A bit of control to this Joburg line-up after opted to bowl a spinner first up, and he did go for a few boundaries.
Sadiq's the new bowler.
New bowler Sadiq. Be looking to retain the pressure after that good over from Naseem. It's a great effort this from the Hellenic Cricket Federation, one of their major tournaments of the year. Increasing in profile, and it's now the 4th time this has been played in Corfu. A lot of interest from across the world for teams wanting to play in this idyllic location. That's a good ball first up, a little bit of bounce, just played, stands tall Kumar, just plays that out into the covers where it's fielded. .25 after 3 overs. Just pegging that run rate back after that good over from Naseem. Oh, that's a good little bit of pace there. That's well played actually. Just turned it off. Used his wrists well. Just work it square and take the single. Brings Zaman back onto strike. You'll be able to see from your screen here the ground is surrounded by a car park. This being one of the major tourist attractions of the island, the historic Corfu town, warren of streets. Venture down, then we'll find souvenir shops, coffee shops, restaurants. It is worth an explore. So Zaman on strike. Siddiqui, and that's a full toss. That's well taken by the keeper. Giving us a wide. Possibly searching for a bit too much pace there. Just lost his line. Looked to straighten up for this delivery. He's in again. Good strong action. That's hit him in the midriff. Looked to pull the ball, but got onto him a bit quicker than expected. It's good pace from Sadiq. For a young man, looks like he has the attributes to develop into a promising fast bowler. Good variety in this Joburg attack. Opened with a spinner, some steady medium pace, and now a little bit more fire from Sadiq, who's in again. Well, that's a good ball. That just flirts with the edge. Well taken by the keeper. Just looked to steer that to third man, but he's got to be careful because there's a slip in place. Distinctive blue caps of the Joburg fielders, giving encouragement to their bowler. They really feel like they're coming back into this game after leaking some runs in the first 2, beginning to exert a bit of control. Just lost his run there. Signal dead ball, goes back to his mark. That's another good line. He's settled into a nice line there, just probing line outside off stump. Batsman not quite sure whether to come forward or back. And that kind of indecision is what can be preyed upon by those eager slips, warming their hands. Wanting to get the feel of that ball, get an early wicket here. Now the pressure told, the pressure has told, it has. Yeah, he really earned that wicket, Sadiq. So, line outside off stump, batsman feeling the pressure to get the run rate going, went for a big shot over the infield, just the head went back at the time of impact and easily caught. So Zaman has gone to Sadiq, and that's the first wicket down. Disappointed there, Zaman, just walking off rather disconsolately, just taking his helmet off. He knows that came up against a good bowler there in Sadiq. Bit of background to me. I'm based in England, cricket writer and commentator. My specialism in emerging cricket nations, associate and affiliate members of the ICC. This is my second time at the schools tournament. I've watched it develop over the last couple of years.
the new bowler, Muhammad Ahmed. No, Muhammad. He's a pace bowler. Left arm.
Really has been a joy to come back, meet some familiar faces. A lot of hard work goes into the preparation of this tournament, as you can imagine. 3 different grounds, logistics to be done by the team at Cricket in Greece and also, of course, the Hellenic Cricket Federation, in collaboration with the coaches and administrators of all the visiting teams. Get a little community, cricketing community in Corfu for this tournament.
Can I write the name?
This one, no?
No. We change. I will write. Gurvinder Singh.
New batsman Gurvinder Singh and the new bowler Mohammed. So left arm, bit of pace. Looking forward to this contest. Difficult for Gurvinder to come in after that good spell by Sadiq. And 27 for 1. A bit of pace there, maybe a little bit of shape as well. Just played cautiously out onto the onside. I think Joburg sensed an opening here. There's an expectation from the fielders, all on their toes, after taking that first wicket. Starting to get into a bit of a groove, not giving away any freebies. Again, that's a good line, just played out slightly nervously onto the onside. This Athens team. So as I say, it's my second time attending the tournament. Looking forward to seeing the progress of the teams that played last year, but also being introduced to some new teams, particularly from India. Clearly very popular destination for Indian school teams to come. That could be a wide, just slips down the leg side. It's no ball actually. And a free hit. Clap goes up. The Athens boys sensing a boundary here from the free hit. Gives you a bit more licence to free the arms. Could be in the firing line here in the commentary position. Down at long on. See what he does here with the free hit. Will he step to leg side? It stays where he is, but does go through the ball and hooks it. That's a 6 runs into the tree. Bobbles through the cafe and took full toll on that free hit. Wasn't too short, but just used. He got long arms, played through the ball. They'd be buoyed by that first boundary for a while for Athens. But that one, again, impeccable textbook forward defensive. Just showing his range of strokes, the attacking and the defensive. Good to see an Athens team here, showing the diversity of cricket here in Greece. It's been played in Corfu since 1823. The British Navy docked and played a game, and the locals liked what they saw and took it up. Hellenic Cricket Federation is doing a lot to try and spread the cricketing gospel through Greece. And there are teams across Greece now, although Corfu remains the beating heart of the cricket community. Cricket is a fast-growing sport in Europe generally. Countries like France and Germany. Participation numbers have been increasing steadily. Spain also. A lot of potential in these countries. It's going to be a wide, do you imagine? Oh, he's let him off, I think. Batsman thought it would be. It must have just gone over leg stump and not given.
Nice move, boy. Nice move.
It's important to see this tournament in context as well, of particularly for Greece. The heading out to La Manga in Spain in the end of May for European Division 3. This is the national team and some of the boys that played for the Greek under-17s in last year's tournament are actually in the national squad for the tournament in La Manga. And the winner of that tournament will go through to European Division 2, which is held in Essex in England in June. It just shows you that if you catch the eye in a tournament like this, further honours can be bestowed. Still got a packed offside field in the cover ring. But that's a little bit leg sidey. Is he going to give a wide? Thinking about it, yep, and he gives it. Just slipped past leg side, the leg stump.
Come, Sadi, come, Sadi.
To 5 overs, the score is 34 for 1. 20 odd after 2, so they've done well to peg this back. That's a good ball outside off. Just cramped him for room. I think he wanted to cut that but didn't have the space. Ended up just playing it back to the bowler. So Sadiq again after that excellent first over. Ooh, that's a little bit wayward. Slips past the keeper. Just striving for that extra pace, Sadiq. You get a feeling that he fancies himself as the spearhead of the attack. Going to show his teammates that he's got a bit of fire, aggression. But on that occasion, just losing his shape. Sadiq again. That's a better ball just outside off stump. Tempted square drive, but a little bit quick for him. Didn't quite make contact. The slip's come out now, which is a shame because I think bowler in this form, with this pace, deserves a slip cordon. It's the way of it with 2020. Another good delivery outside off there. It's a bit too much for the batsman at this point. There's a break mid-innings at the 10th over for a drink. It's getting quite warm here. As I say, a little bit of rain around yesterday, but today, beautiful blue skies. Really is showing off the beautiful island of Corfu in all its glory. We really are lucky to have such a picturesque and historic ground here. That could be an edge there. It's taken and he given. So it's just a thin feather through to the keeper. Well watched, well taken. And that's another breakthrough for Joburg, who are starting to exert pressure on this game. And Athens, after a quick start, are now 2 down.
Yeah, Sadiq.
Second wicket for Sadiq. Very impressive spell. Jasveer, the new batsman. Sun cream on here, like Alan Donald in his prime. Bit of war paint. It's a bit warmer here than it is in England, I can assure you. Jasveer, the new batsman, can they rebuild this innings? Promising start. The slips back in now, that's positive captaincy, I like to see that. Oh, the batsman's just walked away there. I think someone... You can see me on the screen there. Thanks to the cameraman there, just caught me not quite at my best. So back in, we've got a slip now. It's probably a second slip, I would say, and that's a wide. This is a challenge for these Athens batsmen now. I mean, one of them's got to stay there and start to at least rotate the strike, even if they can't get the boundaries. LBW shout there, but I think he possibly got a thin edge on it. Either way, the umpire's not interested. Second day of this tournament. Teams will be looking. Joburg will be looking for back-to-back victories to show their pedigree. Some interesting rivalries as well with 6 Indian schools. You've got that rivalry between them and a couple of South African schools, of course. Some interesting subplots in this tournament. We'll be looking to be declared the winners on the closing ceremony on Saturday evening. I think the important thing is that they don't just go away with cricketing memories, but also forge new friendships, to learn a bit about Greek culture. In the days of social media, of course, you can hopefully these boys will make friends and stay in touch, pass on some tips across continents. That's very much the ethos of this tournament. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Attempted Yorker, just dug out by his feet. Good start. This is Mohammed again. See the scoreboard there, some busy volunteers making sure we're kept up to date. And they're switching over the wicket. And that's a pull shot, but didn't really get the contact. Slipped by the fielder. That short leg. Disappointed in himself. They go through for the single. Athens will be looking to increase this run rate. They'll be hoping to get to somewhere up near 3 figures by the halfway stage. That's going to be very difficult now after being only in the 40s. Joburg full of batting talent, so they're going to have to put them under a lot of pressure. Scoreboard pressure, as they say. So Mohammed again. Oh, that's a loose shot. Just, yeah, the shot he practiced was a lot better than the one he played. Just lost his shape, tried to work it leg side, but he's lost his balance. Just probably talking to himself now, just telling himself to remember his coaching. That's a better connection, just pulls out in front of square. It's only going to be a single. It's well fielded. Just need to increase his boundary count. good to see this quite innovative captaincy, just moving his fielders around, trying to plug the gaps. Good to see these young boys thinking about the strategy of the game. That's a good ball, just defended out on the offside. Waiting for the scoreboard to be updated. It's 42 of 7 overs. Need to find a way of getting more boundaries, whether conventionally or unconventionally. Sadiq again, that's again good pace there. That's a good effort. Just worked it off his toes, bit uppish for a while, kept the fielder interested. Didn't
Unlucky Dylan boy.
quite get there.
Calm Dylan. Calm boy.
Some of the Joburg squad with us here in the commentary box. They seem pretty confident. That is a huge heave across the line. The pressure was told. He hoped that was going to end up in the sea, but didn't make contact. Ended up looking a little foolish, but no doubt aware that they're not going to win these games with ones and twos, particularly on a small ground like this. So that leg side boundary is eyeing up. Let's see if he goes for that again. That's dab down to third man. Quite a pleasant stroke.
Come skip.
Oh, that's a good sliding stop.
Nice skipper.
Skip and a seam.
Nice skip.
Well round there. Look, a very well drilled unit. Pride themselves on their fielding. Skipper showing a good example. That was a better shot though. He thought about that and played a more conventional shot. That time just draws his bat inside the line. That's a very good line again, just tucking him up outside off stump. Very difficult to score off that kind of delivery unless you take a risk or two, take a pace down the wicket or change your stance, try and give yourself more room. It's a bit leg-sidey, that's gone past the keeper.
Come on.
Picked up by fine leg, go through for the single. Colourful members of the crowd there. Distinctive orange shirts. Almost got the colours of the rainbow. Mohammed continuing. It's good bowling partnerships. Cricket's very much about not just about batting partnerships, but also about bowling partnerships, and these two have done well in these last few overs. Taken a couple of wickets, kept the run rate down. And that's gone. That's disturbed the woodwork. Bails off. High fives all round. Fielders run in to celebrate with the victorious bowler. That's another wicket down for Athens. It's starting to struggle now after a positive start. 45 for 3 in the 8 overs. I just haven't quite got used to this on top of this pace from Joburg. consoling pats on the back for the departing batsman. Tried to drive that one down the line, but down the ground past the bowler. No better sight than that for a bowler. Stumps go everywhere. The Joburg boys in a huddle there. They know they're on top in this game now. Difficult to know what to do for Athens here. Do they try and go out in a blaze of glory and try and get the initiative back, or do they try and consolidate now and regroup at the drinks break, which is only in a couple of overs' time, and push on in the second half of their innings? Something for the coaches and the captain to ponder. Joburg coach walking around the boundary, must be pleased with what he's seeing. That's a good ball, that just goes past the shoulder of the bat, a little bit of lift. Get the impression that these Athens batsmen are not used to quite this amount of pace. Just struggling with the bounce. That's full of pitch. Well watched by the batsman. Just let that go outside off stump, making sure he covered the line of off stump with his pad. Got a few flags up now. South African flag wrapped around a tree behind me. Pakistan flag and an Indian flag. Got a slip in place again now. It's going to be a wide, I think. Yeah, it's given. Just too wide outside off stump there. I think in this situation with 3 down with only 45 on the board, I think Joburg can stay on the offensive, keep those close fielders in, keep those catches in. If they can get a couple more before the drinks break, they really could get them out for a low score. It's a good ball, good bit of bounce. Just practice as a pull shot, but play your forward defensive. As predicted, a couple of passers-by seeing the game, intrigued, pulled up a chair at the cafes that line the boundary here. Spionada. And a slight sea breeze, which is welcome. That's a good ball again, just right in the right area, just defended down the ground.
Keep it there, Mo.
Keep it there, the coach says.
Nice lad. Come on, take another one, yeah.
Joburgs will see themselves as one of the strong favourites for this year, after having done winners last year. It's almost a Yorker length, just dug out by his toes, and another good over. Run rate really has dried up for Athens. Just gone into defensive mode. Can't blame them, of course, with a couple of those wickets falling. Very difficult to come out and be expansive. If you lose a wicket playing a risky shot, got to go back and face the coach. An angry glare, perhaps. Impetuousness of youth. Sadiq again. They must be bowling themselves out here. Obviously, maximum number of overs per bowler. Sadiq, bit of pace, bit of fire. He's already got a couple of wickets. Confident. he'll want to get a couple more in the wickets column before the drinks break. This is the last over before the drinks break now. 46 for 3 with 9 gone. The one thing you'd say about the Joburg bowling so far is you wonder why they started with a spinner when they've got such good pace bowlers to come in. Maybe trying to take the pace off the ball early on, see if they can force some early errors. Batsmen tend to like to feel bat on ball early on, just to make themselves feel they're in. Didn't quite pay off for Joburg at the beginning of the innings. They conceded a lot of extras. Sadiq again, that's played on the leg side, down to long on. Fell a yard or so short of the fielder. He's now got a hand on hips. Go through for the single. Oh, that's a good ball. You think about it, it gives it. Yeah, it tried to play it leg side, it was straight. I thought it was a good shout, and the finger was raised from the umpire. That's another one down for Athens. They are in trouble now. Desperately trying to get through to that drinks break. He lost two wickets here for hardly any runs. Ground to a halt. For those of you who haven't watched much cricket before, or just watching for the first time, it's a game where the balance of control can shift between the bowling and batting sides. The impetus, a couple of boundaries, the batsmen are confident and the bowling team are on the defensive. Captain wondering where to put his fielders, but a couple of wickets and the batting team start to get nervous, start to wonder where the next runs are coming from. That what makes it such a compelling game. You've got the individual battles between bowler and batsman, but you've also got the team dynamic as well. It's a short ball, might be given a wide. We'll see what the umpire does. He lets that one go, very short. Batsman unable to capitalise. Got a dog on the outfield now. It's being shooed away. God, that's a good bit of pace there. It's just back of a length, defended down by his toes. Yeah, we've now got an owner desperately trying to get his dog back. Sure if they'll get a caution from the umpire for having more than their allotted number of fielders. Yeah, there's slight interruption here while we try and get the dog to leave the ground, and a couple of our friends in the orange shirts are back on. There they are, you can see them now, pressed into action. Tempt the dog away with a few bones perhaps. He seems to have been two slips in place now, or kind of a slip in a gully almost. That's good, really good from the Joburg captain actually. Just before the drinks break, he knows they're under pressure. It's really good thinking captaincy. I think that might be the halfway stage of this Athens innings as they go in at 46-4-4. I think you can say at the halfway stage Joburg are well on top. Welcome back after the drinks break. Just had a single down to long on as Athens resumed on 47 for 4. Joburg well on top, as we said. Tempting cut shot there. Definitely a bit more energy about the Athens batting after the drinks break. I'm sure the coach said to them, look, you need to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Even if they're not getting boundaries, just make sure that they're scampering through those singles. Otherwise, they'll find themselves marooned in the 40s as they were before the drinks break. That's a good ball. That's just played out onto the onside. Batsmen are Yazvir and Hamza Ahmed, looking to rebuild this Athens innings. You can see the Johannesburg team has brought along someone with them who's making a documentary about their trip, which is lovely to hear. Just, did a short interview with him in the interval. Great memories for those players, caught on film. Great for the parents too to see their boys far from home. I'm sure they're missing them, but they'll be able to see through this broadcast, but also the film that they're making. Bit of extra pressure for the boys, perhaps. They'll want to impress. Well, that's a full toss. Took some pace off. That's played quite firmly down towards long on, but just the single. Interesting, we haven't seen any spin since that early experiment. Went for quite a few runs. It was Mpumi who opened the bowling. But since then it's been pace, and that's worked well for Johannesburg, particularly just before the drinks break. And that's going to be a wide, I think. Maybe perhaps got a toe into the bat on it. Let's see. It's the end of the over, end of the 10th over. Got a nice soundtrack behind me of the birds in the trees. Obviously the beauty doesn't only attract the tourists, the wildlife as well. Beautiful drive along the coast actually from here down to Misongi, where we're all based. Really good opportunity to see the coastline of Corfu and the green hills rising from the beaches. Very popular spot for tourists, particularly from France and England. We do have some spin now. Change of pace. Is this the opportunity Athens need to break free of the stranglehold of the pace? That's a good start by the spinner. He got some surprising bounce there. So a few revolutions through the air. Not easy for a young spinner to find his line of length early, but that was a very good start. See if you can follow that up. A little bit of space there. That's a cut shot. That's hit hard. But it's going to get cut off. Yes, it is. Just a single. He's getting a little bit of turn, though. Interesting to see what the captain does here with the field. It is turning and there is bounce, so got a point in. Mid-off. Oh, that's a big shot leg side. That's a brilliant catch by his toes from Joburg. Has he taken that cleanly? I think he must have done. Just fielding out on the car park there and took it inches from the, well, I would say the turf, but it's not turf on that occasion, the tarmac. The batsmen are staying where they are, just asking the umpire just to check whether that was a clean catch or not. Clearly there was some doubt in the umpire's mind. It looks to me like he's been given not out. Very athletic bit of fielding. So a bit of drama there, where it was what looked like initially like a very athletic catch in the outfield, but a bit of doubt about whether he took it cleanly, and the benefit of doubt has gone to the Athens batsman on this occasion. Jazvir and Hamza at the crease for them. This is a promising over from this spinner though. That's a bit full though, and that's been hit on the leg side. That could be out. It is. Swung on the leg side and just picks out the man. Ran about 7 or 8 yards round the boundary, and the full toss brings the wicket. One of those ones where the eyes light up. You think, under so much pressure for so long, suddenly you get given what you think is a freebie. Swing your arms and then look on in horror as it's safely pouched on the boundary. He'll be frustrated by that. Got an impressive over so far from this young spinner.
Okay, Moshe. Come. Float them, man. Come on, don't worry. Hold them out, Moshe.
Yeah, this young spinner, Adrian. Impressive start. He's got a bit of turn, a bit of bounce. In fact, got a wicket off the worst ball he bowled. New batsman Harjinder Kumar for Athens, who are now 5 down and only just past the 50 mark. So they're going to need their tail to wag, as the expression goes. It's Hoyt on the leg side. Finds the man who's just taken the catch and just go through for a single. As again, for those who haven't watched much cricket, there's a lot of, really is a rich tradition of literature in cricket. A lot of phrases, some of which seem quite amusing, quite strange. Some of the fielding positions, for instance, and some of the cliches around the game. But I think for those of us who love the game, that's part of its culture, that's part of its heritage. Makes it stand out from other sports like football.
You call it JB.
JB.
It's easy to say Jaburani. So just call
New bowler JB for Joburg, who have continued where they left off before the drinks break. Quick wicket. Left Athens precariously poised at 53 for 5. So JB, can he back up the work of his teammates and finish off this Athens innings? So JB, that's a confident start. Must have almost shaved the stumps there as it went through. The fielder near us, hand on his head, he knows that's close. JB again, that's a little bit wayward. Just work that off his toes. Player came out deep backward square. And just the single. Difficult to know what a good score is from this position. Just they'd hope they could get up to 110 perhaps. They bat very well. But, Joburg will be hoping they can get them out for around 70-75, I expect. That's a loose shot. Big swing of the swing of the wrists, but failed to make contact. Just took the pace off the ball, I think, there, JB. He's not just holding it back a bit in his delivery stride. Get the feeling he has more pace there if he wants it. And for a similar shot, he seems to have only read one page of the coaching manual, this batsman. The big swing to the leg side. He's tried it a couple of times now and hasn't connected. We'll see what happens on this next delivery. Captain Nassim busy setting the field. Oh, that's more conventional as he just tries to play it down the ground, but the very committed work by the bowler just prevents the single. Let's run through the other games that are happening this morning. Guernsey Cricket Board are playing Jane, that's at the Marina, and Saheti are playing the Montessori School at Lucknow. So good luck to those teams and supporters of those teams as they look to have a successful second day in the tournament, put themselves in a good position to qualify for those much coveted semi-final place and the chance of glory come Saturday afternoon. The sun's back out again now. Cameraman gets a little parasol. I'll have to make do for my borrowed cap for now. One of the pleasures of watching cricket in one of these beautiful locations is that the pace of modern life is so fast these days. You very rarely get a chance to sit still and appreciate the surroundings. That's an incredible catch by Joburg. The fielder ran in, he was in the circle, and he ran 15 yards or so, put the full length dive in and clutched it inches above the grass, and quite rightly getting big pats on the back by his teammates. That's a very athletic bit of fielding, really committed. And it's another wicket down for Athens, who have lost, I think, 4 wickets now for around 10 or 12 runs. That really was a spectacular piece of fielding. From Tavo, the fielder, who bowled a bit earlier on in the innings, and I imagine if they wrap this victory up, he'll be a very popular member of the team on the coach back. Harley Davidson, you might be able to hear us there behind us. Not the quietest of motorcycles. So 6 down, 13 overs gone. Can Athens get to a score that can put some pressure on this very strong Johannesburg team? So it's a spin at Adrian again. That's pitched up. That's just played down to mid-on for a single. Adrian again, that's a bit flatter, and I think the batsman possibly missed out there. A bit of room to perhaps play a cut shot, get it fine a point, but decided to defend it. And that's a bit more loop on that one. This is good variety from Adrian here. If you've just joined us, Athens were put into bat after Joburg won the toss. Were 20 odd for Banana after a couple of overs. after a lot of wides, but since then Joburg have found their rhythm, and it has been very slow, obdurate batting performance by Athens, but they've lost wickets regularly, and they're just struggling here to put a competitive total. And Joburg will fancy their chances of bowling them out before the 20 overs is up.
Sorry, the skipper, Musin.
The skipper Naseem is back. Got a nice balance of pace and spin now. Adrian from the other end, and Naseem here. Naseem, good first spell, come back for his second spell. He looks a very compact player. He's strong, looks like he has a bit more pace in reserve, but he concentrates on accuracy. There's no slips in place at the moment. Naseem's in again, attempted pull shot, just gets the bottom edge of the bat, and no run there. So if you have just tuned in, my name's Tim Brooks. I'm over from England. I'm a specialist in cricket in emerging nations, including Greece, of course. It's an LBW shout, and that's given straight away. What a lazy shot from the batsman. Just looked to swing it off his legs, but pinned straight in front. And Naseem was pretty confident with that shout, and the umpire didn't wait at all. So his finger was straight up, and that's the 7th wicket down. Score on 57 or 58. And I'm delighted to be over in Corfu again. I was here last year for the 3rd International Schools Tournament. So it's good to see that it's further gained in profile and popularity, attracting teams from across the world to this beautiful part of Greece where cricket has been played since the 1820s. And as an Englishman myself, I'm rather proud that I can say that we had an involvement on establishing cricket in Greece, with the Royal Navy playing the first game and the locals joining in and then forming their own clubs, and over the centuries establishing this rich tradition of cricket in Corfu. Naseem again. Oh, that's a better shot. It's played between the fielders. Well stopped. Only going to get the single, but that's the cleanest connection we've seen for a while. You get the feeling with this Joburg team that if it goes anywhere near the fielder, they're going to put maximum amount of effort in to get the catch. We just saw that wonderful catch by Tarvo. Naseem again. He looks to be bowling with just increase the pace a little bit. That's played down to long on quite pleasantly. Another single. Take the score to 60. That is an enormous mow across the line, as we would say. In England we call it an agricultural shot, because it looks like we're threshing the corn as you run your bat. If he made contact, it would have gone a long way, but he didn't. Went straight through to the wicket-keeper. The young spinner continues. That's a bit flatter, a bit quicker. Batsman almost trod on his own stumps. surprised by the additional pace. Quite enjoyed watching. Spin bowling is they're known as the artists of the game. Just vary the degree of flight and spin, and it becomes a game of cat and mouse between the bowler and the batsman, as the batsman is looking to dominate the spin bowler. The spin bowler knows that he's got some tricks he can employ to confuse the batsman. That's a top edge. That could be out. It lands safely. 3 fielders converge. It's one of those shots that if he'd hit it as he intended to, it would have been out. As it happened, he got a top edge and it fell safe. Just think about that. The spin bowler on top of his game, control of the flight of the ball and the degree of revolutions he's putting on the ball. Some spin bowlers are able to spin the ball both directions. Becomes very challenging for the batsman. And here, again, he's got a lot of loop on that ball, making the batsman wait. Very impressive. Oh, that's taken. That's a very sharp catch. Hit it hard on the leg side off his toes, but the fielder, short mid wicket, again, good catch and see, got the men in the right places. Just plucked that out of the air. Must have hit the hands very crisply. And that's the 8th wicket down for Athens, who really have struggled. Seems an age ago since they reached 40. Every 5 runs or so, they're losing a wicket. New batsman Ali Raza. It's 59 for 8 with 16 gone. Can they last the 20 overs? I guess that's the question. And if they can, how much can they add to this modest total of 59 at the moment? Well, that's a crisp shot, but it's not going to go for 4. Oh, he picked out the man. Think about 2 with a misfield. It's a rare misfield from Joburg. Been very, very good in the field.
Come by, skip. Come below.
Let's see him again. Oh, that's hit. That could be out. It is taken. There's been some very good catches taken. He's just played that down the ground. Caught at mid-off. Compared to some of the other catches, quite a simple one. Hit it crisply enough, but he either needs to keep that on the floor or have more elevation to clear the fielder. In this case, he got it in between and an easy catch. That's the 9th wicket down, and Athens have capitulated under this pressure from Joburg. The Blue Caps versus the Blue Shirts. That's what it's been today. Those Joburg players must be confident now of taking this last wicket, having an early lunch. Unusual bowler team out within 20 overs.